Good morning YouTubians, it's Kermit's Ghost, and today I'm going to take a closer look at number 36 on the cult movie poster. It's an American horror comedy from 2002, directed, produced and screenplayed by Dan Coscarelli and made with a tiny budget of just $1 million. It's based on a novel by Joe R. Lansdale and the film in question is Bubba Ho-Tep. Let's pop this in the player and see if it lives up to my expectations. The film stars Bruce Campbell as Elvis Presley and Sebastian Haff, Ozzie Davis as John F. Kennedy, Ellie Joyce as the nurse, Bob Ivy as Bubba Ho-Tep, Larry Pennell as Kimo Sabe, Heidi Marnhout as Kaylee Thomas, Reggie Bannister as the rest home administrator, and Daniel Rosebuck as the hearse driver. The film opens with some archive footage of an Egyptian tomb being raided by archaeologists, and they discover a king of Egypt called Amenhotep, a lesser known king that is. It then cuts to Sebastian in modern day, who is living in a nursing home, and his roommate dies, leaving him all alone. Well, later an old lady resident is roaming the hallways stealing from the other residents, and when she's alone in her own room she hears a noise and is attacked by a scarab beetle. Moments later she sees another figure in the room, and her body is removed the next day by undertakers. Now Sebastian thinks he saw her being dragged off, but he fell back to sleep. That morning Sebastian is trying to explain to his nurse that he is the actual Elvis Presley, but she doesn't believe him. He recounts the day he tried to change his identity from the real Elvis to Sebastian. He was fed up with the fame and the pressure and went to see Sebastian, who was an impersonator, and they agreed to swap places, and he, Elvis, live a normal stress-free life. The impersonator went on to live his life and eventually died on the toilet eating a hamburger. So the real Elvis is now living in a nursing home with a busted hip. Elvis has a friend in fellow resident John F. Kennedy, an elderly black man who claims that the government has removed a piece of his brain and replaced it with sand, and they also dyed him to discredit his claims of being an ex-president. A few nights later, Elvis, needing a pee, gets up to relieve himself, and whilst doing so he hears a strange noise coming from inside his room. The scarab beetle is back, and this time he's after the king himself. He defeats it after a lengthy battle and heads over to JFK's room, who then tells the king that he saw something roaming the halls that evening. The next day, Elvis is having his infected pecker treated with ointment from the nurse, and he gets excited. Not from the nurse's touch, but from the thought of the fight with the scarab beetle and the idea that something is going on in the rest home that is different from the usual. Well, the next night JFK pops over to Elvis's room and he tells him he's found something in the rest room, hieroglyphics, and they now know that Bubba Ho-Tep is roaming the halls looking for souls to take and to rejuvenate, and that he sucks the souls out through his victims' arseholes. Yeah, really. It's not long after that Elvis comes face to face with Bubba Ho-Tep himself, and he has a vision of the Egyptian's life as the king. So Elvis manages to survive the night, and the next day he goes to look for clues around the grounds of the rest home, and he finds out that Bubba's sarcophagus was on a scheduled tour of America, but it was stolen, and during the getaway the vehicle crashed and his body was thrown into the river, which washed up near the rest home. So Elvis and JFK decide they're going to hunt him down before he kills everybody, and that is where I'm going to leave the story. So did I enjoy Bubba Ho-Tep? Yes, I did. The narration by Elvis in this is just so funny. There's a scene when a young woman bends over in front of him and what pops into his mind is absolutely golden. The same when he's getting his pecker treated by the nurse. Just priceless dialogue. The story of Elvis being alive and living his days fighting a mummy in a nursing home warms my heart. The same with JFK, if I'm honest. There isn't a single aspect of this movie I didn't enjoy. The story, the pacing, the characters, and I've got to say, Bruce Campbell's Elvis is one of the best I have ever seen. Totally believable. I would give this film a solid 10 out of 10. I cannot recommend this film enough. Give it a try. There's a reason it's on the list. So that is it. Do you agree with my score or not? Leave a comment down below and I will get back to you, I promise. Give the video a thumbs up, it really does help the channel. And subscribe if you haven't, it's all free, why wouldn't you? And with all that being said and done, thank you so much for choosing my channel today and watching my video. Take care and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye.